Monday evening, depending upon where you are in this city. I hope you're having a fabulous day. This is from the Halls of Justice. And this evening, we have a very special guest with us. I'm sure that everyone all over the world has heard about the Me Too movement. And this beautiful lady, this is Lisa Bloom. And she has made history in the fact that there was a huge settlement involved with 5 women, and it was the first agreement that was set and made with a non-disclosure agreement that was not signed. So these 5 women can move forward, tell their story for years to come. And it's all thanks to this beautiful, smart, cunning woman. There is a guest and representative here today that I am so thrilled to have on the show. This gentleman in a civil law firm with civil suits is an outstanding star himself. He is a certified family law specialist, the managing attorney of the Bloom firm. And we have with us this evening Vernon L. Ellicott. And I want to thank you for being with us on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We have a lot of things to talk about. I'm very excited to have you here. And once again, you're affiliated with a civil law firm, but you're a certified family law specialist.
That's right.
Wow. So tell me, what do you do for a living?
Well, obviously, I'm an attorney.
Yes.
I work for the Bloom firm as
Yes.
the managing attorney
Okay.
for the firm.
For the managing attorney of the firm. That is fabulous. Where did you go to school?
I went to college in Oregon at George Fox University, and I went to law school at Southwestern University here in Los Angeles.
Wow. Now, how long have you been with the Bloom firm?
I have been with the Bloom firm just over 3 years. I had a private practice of my own for decades prior to that.
Okay.
And the opportunity came to join Lisa and her firm. They needed an experienced family law attorney, so I applied for and was grateful to be offered the position. And I've
For
enjoyed
decades. You don't look decades. You look
decades,
good.
yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. And they needed, I find that interesting because I know that they are like one of the most fabulous civil law firms that there is. And Lisa being just the top ranking super attorneys that there is, and her mother is Gloria Allred.
Right.
Oh my God. And I find it fabulous that they had the foresight to go into family law.
Well, you know, a lot of our cases involve celebrities.
Okay.
So
Yes.
we do some celebrity divorces as well as a lot of domestic violence cases where we've got, in most cases, women coming to us who have been abused by celebrities and other high-profile people. So we need somebody in the firm, and I qualify as somebody who is capable and experienced in handling those types of issues.
Awesome. Awesome. So you do both, actually. So now you're the managing attorney. You're the senior family law attorney.
Right.
And family law is my heart. It really is. And you head up the pre-litigation. And it says especially Uber and Lyft cases?
Well, we do. We have a litigation section that handles the actual lawsuits against plaintiff or defendants. We only handle plaintiffs.
Okay.
But we have a lot of pre-litigation cases where we negotiate settlements in cases. For instance, we have a lot of we have some cases against Uber and Lyft for sexual harassment for drivers who have sexually harassed passengers, things like that. And I head up that department and managing that.
Okay.
Most of the other pre-litigation cases where we're not anticipating going to trial, they flow through my office.
Okay. And C.F.L.S, I know what that is, but for our audience, what is C.F.L.S?
Well, I'm proud of that. That
Yes.
means I'm a certified family law specialist.
Yes.
I had to take an extra bar exam to pass that test.
Oh my God.
Quite some time ago, fortunately. Studied very hard for it and
Yes.
became certified. So It's a status symbol for me. It gives me credibility when I go into a courtroom because the judge sees those initials and knows that I'm somebody that theoretically knows what he's talking about when he gets in front of the judge on a family law matter.
That's right. Well, that's what the Bloom firm is known for, knowing what they're talking about. So, and so, do you have any other specialties?
Not particularly. Other than in terms of a license, no. I do work, as I said, in the other areas of the firm.
Right, and because you're managing other attorneys
Right.
that work in those areas. What do you like most about your job?
Well, I like the intellectual challenge of being an attorney. I like knowing that I'm competing with other attorneys, and most attorneys are pretty smart.
Right.
And with the Bloom firm, we tend to be up against the brightest and the best in Southern California and frankly all around the country.
Right.
And I like that. I like competing against the best. You got to beat the best to be the best.
Exactly.
I enjoy that. So that for me is fun. I like helping people. Everybody that we work with in the Bloom firm is somebody who has been attacked in some way, either physically, mentally, sexually, emotionally, something like that. So we're working with people who are in many ways victims, and we're helping them out. I like standing up for victims, standing up for people who have been abused, and protecting them.
Wow.
I like research and writing.
Okay.
That's a fun thing for me. I like the intellectual challenge of that. Last week, I spent a couple of days where I had to do a lot of research on a project where I initially thought we were going to lose. And after I started my research, after I started doing all the writing, and there was a lot of writing to it and putting stuff together, I began to think, we have a pretty good chance. In fact, I think we're going to win. And so now that I've done that research and writing, I feel really good about our position. And that's not uncommon. When I get done doing some writing and research and stuff, I enjoy it. So I enjoy the intellectual challenge of doing the research and writing.
That C.F.L.S thing just kicks right in.
That's right.
There's something else that's very special about you. You have a competitive edge, which is, an attorney thing, but only the best of the best enjoy that. However, you can ride. We've had judges that run in marathons. Judge Mitchell, he's a marathon runner. You have ridden 100 miles across the country on a bike.
Yeah.
That's with your wife.
Well, no. She doesn't ride the bicycle. She rides the Harley.
Oh, she rides the Harley.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a bicycle I ride by myself.
Okay. Oh my God! But that 100 miles.
Right. I did that Saturday.
Wow! Oh my God! Okay, so you stand up for victims. You're competitive. You're protective. Okay, research and writing. And you love being in court.
I love being in court. One of the things that I really like doing is being in court, being able to argue in front of the judge with the other attorney there, and put forth a persuasive argument. That's a fun thing for me.
That's awesome. That's wonderful, because a lot of people get very nervous being in court, and it's hard for them to speak in front of the judge.
Yeah, people get nervous speaking. I think public speaking is probably the number one fear of people in the country, and I have always enjoyed speaking in front of a group.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So now, you love working with Lisa Bloom?
I do.
Oh,
I do.
Great.
She is an incredible person. She's very compassionate. She is very enterprising. She's very smart. People see her on TV and think that she's just a voice or a face. She's actually a very, very smart person. When you talk with her, you realize that she thinks things through. She knows things that and how to treat people, how to deal with people in a very, very amazing way. I've been practicing for a long time.
Right.
And yet I still watch Lisa work with people. I see her do things, and I still find myself amazed and think, wow, she's really, really sharp.
Now, the thing that I see about you, and they always say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, is that as amazing as you are and intellectual as you are, you're extremely down to earth. Would you say that about Lisa?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I noticed. So yeah, and that's amazing, because people can connect to that.
That's right.
They understand that.
And people connect with Lisa. She's very good at that interpersonal connection with people. She's good at drawing them in, and she can say the tough stuff that has to be said to
Right.
people in the type of cases that we do.
Right, right. And that's important because sometimes when people have been hurt, there's a hard shell there
That's
that
right.
you have to get through. What are the biggest challenges in your job right now?
I think some of the biggest challenges for me are managing the staff. You know, I don't just get to do my workload anymore. I get to manage the staff, which is not particularly difficult. We got a great staff at the Bloom firm.
Okay, all
We
right.
have terrific people, all the way from our receptionists, paralegals, to the other attorneys, and of course working with Lisa. But then there's the challenge that I also have my own work that I have to do. I'm
Right.
the family law attorney and a litigator in that sense, keeping up with my own practice area. So in that sense, the added management responsibilities are a little bit challenging. I enjoy them, but that adds to the workload.
That's beautiful. So you're managing staff, you're keeping up with your own practice. Well, and then that you can talk about. I don't want you to disclose anything because I promised. So, but can you name or tell us about any of the big cases that you have?
Well, I can tell you some cases we've had in the past,
Okay.
as well as a couple going on right now.
Okay.
We were involved in Misha Barton's revenge porn case
Okay.
that garnered some news where some people posted some pornographic pictures of her that were not authorized, and we got those pictures taken down off the web and restraining orders in place against the people that put them up.
Perfect.
Right now we represent Black China, again, her paternity case with Rob Kardashian. That's always fun.
Kardashian.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's a challenge because, you know, they have top-notch legal people on their end. And
Absolutely.
so I enjoy going up with them
Right.
and working with them on that case. The Uber Lyft cases are fun. I can't tell you what's been happening with them,
Right.
but it's enjoyable to be working in those cases.
Right.
We have some paternity cases against some rather famous people. We have a paternity case with Chris Brown.
Wow.
We have a paternity case with Josh Norman, who is a football player for the Washington Redskins.
Wow.
We've done some celebrity-type divorces. Some people who have been in the news, who will be in the news.
That's right.
And we've handled some of their divorces.
Okay, so between the celebrities and the other top-notch attorneys that you're going up against, and you're a winner, so that is really a feather in your cap. And you do a lot of sexual harassment cases against. You represent the plaintiff. Right. So these are people that are going up against the city?
We go up against city, county, state, it doesn't matter. One of the cases I'm working on right now that I'm very heavily invested in is we have a sexual harassment case against the city of Linwood. And we've been publicly involved in that, so I can talk and acknowledge that. We're working on a settlement that we hope happens soon, but maybe not, and it may turn out that we may end up in some very heavy litigation with them over that issue.
Wow, wow. So, revenge porn is the new issue that's a hot topic right now.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
my
right.
God.
You know, it's amazing. You know, you flip out that phone, and it's so easy to take a picture and a video and things like that, and people don't realize that that picture can end up on the web, and it ends up, and once it's on the web, it's almost impossible to take off. So people are not being careful, particularly younger people. They're not being careful about what's being videoed and what they're doing and things like that. And then, or they shoot a video of themselves to their boyfriend or girlfriend. Next thing you know, they break up. And where's that picture?
Okay.
It's all over. And it's actually against the law. Unfortunately, not many states have actually made revenge porn against the law. New York is one of them. California is one of them.
Okay.
But it's amazing how much you can post on the web without somebody's consent that doesn't violate the law in certain states. It's sad and scary, and we're working hard to change that.
Wow. Well, tell me about your family.
My wife and I have been married for 21 and a half years.
Beautiful.
It is. She's a wonderful lady.
What do you think the secret of being married for 21 years would be?
You know what? You treat them when you're married like you do when you're dating.
That's good.
You know,
That's good.
so many people, they get married and all of a sudden they stop treating people decently. And they don't. So you just got to keep treating them like you did when you first met them.
That's wonderful.
That helps.
That helps.
That helps.
Okay.
So.
All right. And the rest of your family?
We have 4 daughters between us.
Okay.
I have a daughter in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
I have a daughter who's a teacher in Castaic, and a daughter in San Diego, and a daughter who's about to get married in Phoenix next April. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So all girls?
All girls.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. And we also raised our niece and nephew. They're no longer, they're not kids anymore, but we had our niece and nephew with us for quite some time too.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you're a real family man.
We are. And by the way, we have 2 grandkids.
Shout out to the grandkids.
That's right. Shout out to the grandkids, 2 little wonderful little boys. And then my niece has a little boy who calls us his grandparents too.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so wonderful. I love a family atmosphere. The first time that Judge Kelvin Filer was on the show, he had a tie on with his 2 daughters on it.
Oh.
And I thought, oh my God, now that's lovely. That's special. So in your personal life, you are extremely fit. So you bike, you rode, and you mountain bike.
Right, right.
And the Harley. Okay, how did you get into that?
Well, all of them. You know, I've always been competitive. I always liked sports. I played baseball in college and other sports. I used to be a runner.
Okay.
I used to run and race all over Southern California, but the knees and the hips and stuff, that's hard on you.
Okay.
So I started biking. So I got into the mountain biking and the road biking and the racing and stuff like that. And then, I had a convertible. I thought, well, that sounds like fun. And then I got the Harley. I thought, that sounds like fun. So we've been on the Harley for a long time.
Okay.
And we take trips every year with my brother and sister-in-law who live in Missouri. We meet in the middle and we just travel around.
Wow. Now, if you were not an attorney, what would you do?
I'd be bored.
Okay.
I'd be bored. I can't imagine, I'm sure there's some other line of work that I'd enjoy doing. I can't imagine not working. I've always admired justices like Justice Ginsburg, who is 85 and says, I want to work till I'm 90.
Wow.
Because she enjoys what she does, and I do too.
Right. Wow. Okay. So I like this. Do you have a motto?
I do. It's a very simple model, and that is, to be prepared. Being prepared is the secret to success. If you are prepared, you get things done ahead of time. You don't wait till the end. Being prepared is the secret to success.
Wow. And when you do prepare, what would be your advice, because you are managing other attorneys? So let's say an attorney comes in, a new fresh attorney, and he or she is seeking advice on how to focus and manage a case. What type of advice would you give to them?
Well, the biggest thing is to set your own deadlines. I'm always setting deadlines for people. I set them for clients, I set them for attorneys, I set them for the other attorney. So,
Good.
So, and the court, the court set deadlines for us. Life is full of deadlines, and that's especially true in the practice of law.
Right.
So I would tell them to write down some deadlines of when you have to get some things done, and then start on the small stuff.
Okay.
Don't try to do the big stuff, because that's too hard. Start on something small, accomplish that, set some goals, some deadlines, and work your way up until you've accomplished the whole thing.
Oh, that's good. I agree with that. Now, the first thing when you come in the mornings into your office, what would you like to do? I know Judge Filer, he likes his coffee. So what would you like to do?
Well, I grab a mug full of water.
Okay.
And I usually sit down and just take a look at my email. And I'll answer a few emails, and then I just try to plan out where I want to go with the day. I mean, I already have an idea from the day before, because I leave knowing what I'm going to do the next day, of course. But I look through the emails that have come in overnight, kind of take a look and see if there's anything that's a crisis. And then I jump into the tasks that I have to do the day. Sometimes I usually want to get the emails out of the way in the early morning. And if I got writing and research and other things to do, I like to leave that off until the afternoon.
Well, that's great because it sounds like you get back to your clients.
Yeah.
Because you know what they say. If an
right.
attorney doesn't get back to you, then you don't have an attorney.
That's right.
So you start calling down the list.
Yep.
Now, the other thing that people may or may not know about the Bloom firm is that they're very healthy.
Yes.
I don't know about everybody, but they are vegan people.
They are.
Are you a vegan?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm
So
not.
okay, well that's good. So, but some of the vegan lifestyle is very healthy, very clean. Can be tasty.
It can be. I've learned some new things. I've eaten some things I didn't know existed since I started working there.
Okay. But they were tasty, right?
They were good. I gotta admit, the food is good.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Now, once again, I think one of the things that I've noticed throughout the years, I've been in family law for 18 years now, and I love it. I wouldn't change a thing about it. Is that I've seemed to run into some personalities where when you're in a civil firm, and they're very serious about their cases, to the fact where the family law cases are like, they don't make fun of them or anything, but they're just so into the war room in the civil cases until the family law cases can get put to the side. But I'm sure you keep that in the forefront because
I do.
Oh, good. Okay.
Right. What I find is it takes a certain personality, as you know from working as a family law paralegal for many years as you have.
Right.
It takes a certain personality to enjoy family law.
Yeah.
As an attorney, a paralegal, most attorneys simply don't like family law. Most of the civil attorneys I talk to say, I don't know how you do that. Lisa will say that sometimes to me, oh my goodness, how do you deal with that? And I enjoy dealing with the clients. Frankly, in family law in particular, there's all kinds of drama that takes place. Drama with the clients, drama with stuff going on. I enjoy the drama.
Right.
In a certain sense, I get paid to enjoy the drama that's on TV.
That's right. That's right. And you've got a lot of TV people.
Yes, we do.
So that's amazing. As a matter of fact, I know, like I said, you don't have to mention any names, but yeah, you have quite a few high-profile cases and some big TV personalities. So that's great. How do you know so many people? Are they neighborhood stars that come by, or really did you hear about them? Did they hear about you through like referrals from other people?
Well, most of it is referrals from other people. Lisa is terrific at bringing in tremendous clients. She's so well known that people contact her and then we get in touch. So a little bit of both. Mostly, I think the reputation of the firm brings a lot of people in, and Lisa's reputation brings a lot of people in. They want somebody that's going to stand up for them and fight for them and be competitive for them.
Now, when they call for, if they want to talk to you or for a consultation, is there, I want to ask, is there a fee for a consultation?
Generally, we don't charge a fee for an initial consultation. That doesn't mean we give them all day, of course, but we have a reasonable amount of time that we meet with people to try to learn about their case and find out what's going on, and then we talk to them about what we can do for them and how much it's going to cost.
Okay, all right, good. So even though, I might not be a really, really, really big star, if I wanted a really good attorney, you would talk to me.
You betcha.
Thank you. All right, well, we are coming to a close. We have 4 minutes. In the next 4 minutes, if you could talk about anything that you desire, what is the most one of the things that you really enjoy or that you would want to highlight about family law?
One of the things that people don't realize in family law is how much collegiality there is among attorneys. It's a small world in many ways. Whether you practice in Los Angeles County, which is obviously a large county, or one of the surrounding counties like Ventura County, where I often do and where I practiced before, you get to know the other attorneys, so you make friends with them. A lot of clients think that there's a myth that attorneys are always battling each other and fighting each other and they hate each other, when almost always the exact opposite is true.
That's only in trial.
That's right. It's only in trial. And even then, I've done a lot of negotiating recently in cases and settlement. Today I set off a very strong letter to another attorney. I'm sure he will not take it personally.
Okay.
And I hope he doesn't, because it's nothing personal against him. But his client, I want to slap him.
Okay. That's right. That's right.
But in doing so, to maintain my professional demeanor and my professional skills, I'm not going to lash out against the other attorney. Now, there's times when I may need to do something like that to get an effect across or something like that, but there's a lot more collegiality than people realize.
Okay.
And the other thing is, courtrooms, while I enjoy being in them, are usually pretty boring.
Okay.
It's not like on TV.
Now, the big thing is, we've got 2 minutes. If a client is going through the process of a dissolution, when is the best time to discuss a possible mediation, and when do you know that mediation just might not be the remedy and you're going to end up litigating?
Yeah, that's a good question. People want to mediate. Frankly, I'm not always a fan of mediation because it draws things out, and I find that frequently, instead of mediating, people end up spending a lot of money and getting nowhere. That's why I like going to court. You get results, you get answers, and things like that. One of the key things for people going through a divorce, especially, and I don't mean to be sexist, but frequently women are the ones that don't know what's going on financially. That's not always the case, and obviously there's tremendous women out there.
Because they trust their husband?
They trust their husbands, and when you go through a divorce, that's a mistake. So,
yes.
So gather financial documents. Don't necessarily believe everything your spouse says. Gather all the financial documents you can, your tax returns, the stock statements, trusts, wills, all those sort of things. Gather them all together. Get the bank statements together. Gather all that stuff together and make sure that you put it in a place that the other side can't find.
Okay, and that is the truth.
Yes.
All right, and so we want to, number one, thank you so much for being on the show. I know that it probably took a minute, and we're in beautiful West Hollywood, and there's a lot of stars here, and single, divorced, married, thinking about, they have prenups, postnups. Do you do any of those?
I do.
Okay, all right, so there's all of those. And actually, I don't know. I think a prenup might be a pretty good idea sometimes.
It often is.
Yeah. It's like, I love you, now sign this.
That's a hard thing, you talk about getting married and then you have a prenup where you talk about getting divorced.
But you know what? In the long run, it'll save you some heartache. Did I say that? I did say that. But I believe that people get married to stay married.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us on From the Halls of Justice, and congratulations to the Bloom firm on the Me Too. It's a celebration of just an outstanding case that has made history. Non-disclosure agreement, thing of the past.
Yep.
And this beautiful woman, Lisa Bloom, and you are a wonderful man, Mr. Ellicott. So elegant, so educated, so down to earth. And thank you for being here. Tune in next week when you never know who we're going to have here on From the Halls of Justice. Beautiful. I like that.
All right.